Hello, good evening, and good night. It is your girl, Cresta Star, with the illustrious, the beautiful, the awesome SP3, and we are here with you on this August 30th, 2025, going over AEW Collision. Welcome, Colliders. This is Fightful. My name is Cresta Star. SP3, how are you today?
As someone known for great intros, that was a great intro by Cresta. She came in with the energy right off the bat. That's why I know I'm working with a pro tonight. But yes, I'm back once again. Y'all get me back-to-back nights because they talk about Ring of Honor on a Friday night. They talk about Collision on a Saturday night. And I am the man that watches just as much wrestling as Dave Meltzer, except I'm much blacker and my room is a little bit cleaner.
You're also not a little monotone. Respect, shout out to Uncle Dave. He's a little monotone.
That's true.
It's okay.
That's true. A little monotone, a little bit rambly. I can ramble, but not as much as that. But yeah.
And if you want to ramble too, go ahead and leave a thumbs up on this video, or even do us one better. Leave us a super chat. It's the best way to be guaranteed to join in on the conversation. Or you can head over to humperchats.com that I'm definitely not just opening right now to make sure that if you guys are sending humper chats, Cresta Star is on top of them. We get to keep a little bit more of the proceeds, and we'll read your comment live on air. That is humperchats.com. But I also have a couple of more things to show before we get into AEW Collision. Guys, did you know that we are close to 200,000 subscribers over on YouTube for Fightful? Definitely leave us a thumbs up on Fightful. And while you're there, maybe consider subscribing to Fightful over on Patreon, homeboy. We've got Fightful Select Answers. We've got updates on Ring of Honor Pure Women's titles. Well, we got SP3 here. He's a Ring of Honor guy next to Reg. Shout outs to Reg. Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor updates. And it'd be great if you joined in with us. It's the best $5.99 in the business. People are going to aggregate it anyway. Why not get it from the source? Fightful, y'all. Are you ready to talk about AEW Collision SP3? Wait, I take that back. Let's rewind. What did you think of AEW Collision overall tonight?
This was a good episode. The thing I've noticed from last night's Death Before Dishonor and Dynamite this week is that it's a different vibe, a different energy being in Philadelphia in the former ECW arena, 2300 arena. Aesthetically, it's not what I would call the most beautiful building to work in, but there's a certain vibe, a certain aesthetic that's added to the feel of the show, and the crowd is always hot, so it makes the matches better and the people feel more motivated. And as of late, Collision has been very good at storytelling and continuing the stories that they're telling from over at Dynamite, giving us a little bit something. They will sometimes have a bigger angle, and this show I wouldn't necessarily say had a bigger angle, but it continued the stories that they started telling on Wednesday very well here. So overall, I think it was a good follow-up to Dynamite.
I'm going to go ahead and agree. I'm going to mute because I have to cough, and it's uncouth to cough in people's ears.
This is true. Look at her being the most corporate Cresta she can be.
I'm dressed down because it's Saturday. You can't be in a corporate attire all week. I'll also say that
dressed down with her Joe from You hat, with her paparazzi hat. She trying to blend in.
When I want to blend in, when I want to stand out. No, I have to say that since AEW started running not smaller arenas, but smaller arenas, it gives house show on TV, and I think that's a sweet spot that a lot of people try to get, and it happens organically. I seen one time people say that the arenas that they pick are now based on, can Toni Storm perch somewhere and do Toni Storm things? And if that's the strategy, it's working. Tonight worked for me. And let me tell you what doesn't work for me, right? Right, y'all. Ricochet is never beating the he's Blake Christian allegations. Never, ever, ever. We were supposed to be myself and Rick tonight, and at the last minute, he said, "Oh, I can't make it." I was about to say, "Darn, I was going to congratulate you on your win last night against, Lee." I can't even lie with a straight face.
You and Lee Johnson, the swirl in action last night at Ring of Honor against the Kingdom. You know.
I can't.
But no.
I don't want to lie, but I want to lie, so I'm here lying. And Rick isn't here. He said he had things to catch up on. But curiously, you're in the opening match against Daniel Garcia. Blake Christian opened up this match, opened up this evening, and I gotta tell you, Daniel Garcia, y'all need to get away from him. He's about to become a violent man, and I don't know if I like that. I like it. I'm sports entertained, but I'm also sports scared. Okay, I see what y'all did to Wheeler Yuta, and he's a changed man. Look at the range man, and Daniel Garcia is becoming a changed man, and I don't want to look at the range again because again, I've seen what you've done to Wheeler Yuta.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you, what did you think of this match before we get into the semantics of it?
This was a solid matchup to kick things off. A nice little blend of styles with Blake Christian being having the high flying style, and Daniel Garcia being more hard hitting, more physical, more submission and mat base, and that's what it came down to in the end. The little reversal on the 450 springboard 450 splash into the guillotine, and then the guillotine into a power driver, a very violent power driver. And yes, like the key to all of this is the Jon Moxley insertion before the match starts. Moxley coming down, whispering in Daniel Garcia's ear, and then Daniel Garcia being a lot more aggressive in this matchup. Color me intrigued, but also color me cautiously optimistic, because I've been down this road with Chris Statlander as of late, and that seemingly has gone on for months and gone nowhere so far. So I'm not gonna hold my breath for this to be the big break that Daniel Garcia is wanting. But if I'm Daniel Garcia, I join the the Death Riders. The Death Riders is a better spot than what he's currently in. If I'm him, I'm joining up with Jon Moxley and the boys.
I will agree. I will say Jon Moxley coming out at the beginning of the match was crazy, because the chops tonight on Ricochet was, he was letting him have it. And there was a certain part in the match where he's just chopping Blake Christian into the corner. I'm like, yo, are you sending him a love letter? We do get a spike pile driver on Blake, and Daniel Garcia does get the win. Post-match, Toni Schiavone asked, yo, what did Jon Moxley say to you before the match? And even on commentary, Daddy Magic was like, he doesn't want to talk about it. I asked him, he doesn't want to talk about it. So the first thing out of Danny's mouth is, yo, I don't want to talk about that, but Jon Moxley, it seems that all rivers lead to you. So I'm going to cut the rigmarole, the minutia, and I just want to fight you. So Yuta comes out like Silver Surfer being the herald for Galactus and says, we accept. And low-key, if y'all going to make the young kids fight, and I don't like that, because while Daniel Garcia versus Wheeler Yuta would really be, also, that might get real violent real fast, and I'm notoriously soft. I want to know, if I were you, SP3, or you were booking this, what do you see going forward for Daniel Garcia in that sense? Like, do you really join the Death Riders? You see how they've hazed Yuta. Is that what you want?
I think because it seems like over the next maybe a year, Moxley's going to be feuding majority with Darby Allin, finishing up that rivalry, and then probably by the time he comes back, it's going to be Will Ospreay. So in between there, I could see a rivalry, a longer rivalry with Daniel Garcia, where Garcia can eventually get the win over him. Because I really enjoyed his promo. I thought the promo was better than the match. Garcia showed a lot of passion, a lot of emotion in that promo, where he's talking about how he's been chasing Jon Moxley for 5 years, and he wants what he has. He wants his legacy. He wants all the championships, all the accolades. So he knows that he has to beat him. And that's a big time matchup for Collision, because I thought their matchup on Wednesday was great. So to know that next Saturday you got that match to look forward to as well, that was a good matchup to kind of announce right off the bat in the beginning kind of stages of the show. So really good stuff on the mic from Daniel Garcia today. And as far as his character work with what's going on with Jon Moxley, as far as Wheeler Yuta and Daniel Garcia, I seen them fight before. They feuded over the Pure Championship back in 2022. Would I like to see it again? Sure. do I think that's kind of beneath where Daniel Garcia is at? Daniel Garcia doesn't need to fight any of the kind of guys on his same level, the younger guys that he's been fighting for all these years. He kind of has to step up. He has to fight the guys on the higher level. So I like this direction with him in a story with Moxley.
I like that. That sounds good. And you know what else? Who likes us? Oh, am I muted? Hello? Is it me, Jesus? Is it me?
You're good.
All right, fantastic. We've got Orion Bed with a super chat saying, True Hill Corporate Saturdays. Bring the pain, fam. Thank you so much for your super duper chat. And we have another super chat from Jim D. Duchars. I hope I said your name right. Please don't beat me up in the comments. Madam Vice President Cresta and Superstar 3. It's painful to be a Fed guy right now. And I get tired of the multi-wrestler chaos that fills the AEW ring so often. But tonight was swell. I will say AEW has a you got the police coming for you, girl. Whoop, whoop. That's the sound of the police.
Police came. Well, as soon as the police came, that's when I was able to hear you. I couldn't hear you for a second there. My headphones.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go.
Not your headphones going into business for themselves. No, I totally lost my train of thought because I was making a joke. Oh, the multi-man matches, there's a lot of people in AEW. And sometimes you just gotta get your stuff in. I'll make it work after that. There's a lot of people, but at least they always put on in the ring.
Yeah, I always enjoy the all-star 8-man tags. I don't know why people kind of have a problem with them or be like, oh, I'm tired of them and stuff like that. I think that is something that's worked for AEW throughout 2025. It's been a great way to have a great match on the show, put a whole bunch of great workers who could get the crowd excited. The live crowds enjoy it. The people at home always say it's a fun to great match of the week kind of stuff that they do in those matches. And it's a quick and easy way to progress rivalries and progress stories, like we saw on Wednesday with the whole all-star 8-man tag with the Don Callis family and the story continuing with Takeshita and Okada. I like stuff like that in these all-star 8-man tags. I'm looking forward to the one on Wednesday, and we got an all-star kind of tag team matchup on this one with Kyle Fletcher and Josh Alexander versus the Paragona Conglomeration. I don't know if that's what they're gonna go by.
Paragama Gama Llama.
Paragama Compilation.
Ooh, I'm not gonna hold you. That's a great way to segue into our next segment. We get the Conglomeration, the Conglomerama, Ramapama, 2-time 84377 24/7 championships tag teams in the back, and it's Roderick Strong, Ishii, Hologram, and Kyle O'Reilly. Roderick Strong yells Kyle, and Kyle O'Reilly is the most unserious, serious wrestler. He's so great. I love him because he'll beat you up, but also what's a promo? Because Roderick yells out Kyle, and last week he was talking about the other Kyle, so he's like, I'm talking to you. How could you tag with Ishii? And I'm trying to rack my brain, like, what did Ishii do to make Roderick Strong so mad? I can't remember what it was.
I remember.
What was it?
He beat him for the Ring of Honor World Television Championship, but this was back in 2016. This is nearly a decade ago. He still can't get over it.
Honestly, keep the hate alive. I love hate.
I'm all for long-term hating where you can remember something like that. I'm all for it.
So Roderick Strong is like, how could you tag with this guy? That's an affront to his sensibilities. Kyle O'Reilly says, I am a professional wrestler, sports talker, journalist, whatever you want to call it. And I get to say this on my job. He said, I don't care. We get to beat up the Dong Phallus family.
The Dong Phallus.
I'm immature, okay? The way I laughed for a solid 3 minutes, I didn't hear the rest of this promo. I'm so immature. Man, they've been calling Don Callis a human hot dog and now Dong Phallus. Oh, yes. And I get to say it.
Dong Phallus family.
He said it doesn't matter how we get there. We get there. And Roderick Strong just like, you know what? I've had it. What did you think about the Dong Phallus?
That was so good. That was one of the best slides that I've heard from Kyle O'Reilly on a promo. So hilarious. It needs to be moving forward. Everybody must call them the Dong Phallus family. That needs to be the
Honestly.
running bit. The running bit needs to be that. Please do. Please do.
And you know, we're gonna take this absolutely free segue to give out a shout outs to our sponsor, Blue Chew. Shout outs to Dong Phallus and shout outs to Blue Chew.
Take care.
Do you have a limp penis? A difficulty getting it erect? Boy, do I have a product for you. BlueChew.com and the code FIGHTFUL will help fix that. Blue Chew has the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, so you know they work. But they work a lot faster because it's a chewable. It's also much more affordable. Use that promo code FIGHTFUL. Get your first shipment free. Just pay $5 shipping. One of the best parts, it's discreet. No awkward in-person doctor's visits. You don't have to go to the pharmacy. It's shipped straight to your door when approved by an online physician. You want to check this out. It will help you. It is a good product. It will make your sex life better. BlueChew.com, the code FIGHTFUL.
That's right. Get your Dong Phallus family in order. Head on over to Blue Chew. That leads us to the actual Don Callis family match coming up right after that. It's Kyle Fletcher and Josh Alexander with, of course, Don Callis versus the Conglomeration consisting of Kyle O'Reilly and Tomohiro Ishii. I have to tell you, the Kyle versus Kyle chance and then for Kyle Fletcher to tag out was such a heel move. Shout outs to Kyle Fletcher. But when we did finally get Kyle versus Kyle, we got an ankle lock from Kyle O'Reilly into, I don't know how that bled to Fletcher bleeding. There was a scoop slam from Fletcher onto Kyle O'Reilly, only two. Then Alexander finally gets in for a snap suplex on Kyle O'Reilly, again, only two. I'm reading. I had to write so many notes for this because I'm a Josh Alexander enjoyer. And if I don't, I'm going to be like, Kyle O'Reilly was really working hard this match. Ishii finally gets in a hot tag, does a side pounce on Kyle Fletcher and sends him flying, which was really nice. There was a whole bunch of sticks exchanges between Kyle O'Reilly, Josh Alexander, which led into a standing guillotine choke on Josh Alexander, to which Alexander countered with a standing ankle lock. Excuse me? This match, it does end up with the Don Callis special of low blow, a straight jacket pile driver on Ishii, and Josh Alexander gets the pin, which is nice in my opinion, because at least if everybody loses, we'll at least get you a pin in the Don Callis family. What did you think of this match, SP3?
Oh, this was a dope match. This was great. This was, spoiler alert, the match of the night. Like, they went out there, they put four guys who are quality workers, and they just went out there, had a kind of really well-paced, hard-hitting, physically intense matchup in front of a hot crowd, and it delivered in spades. Kyle Fletcher going at it with Tomohiro Ishii. We saw what they did a couple of weeks ago in that TNT title match, and they just continued that success in this one. Fletcher and O'Reilly, they've torn it up before on an episode of Collision, and they tore it up here when they went at it with each other. But Josh Alexander versus Kyle O'Reilly, please give it to me. Please give it. They've teased this enough in multi-man matches and tag team matches. Every time they go at it, it's been splendid. And this was just another example of that. But man, the finishing sequence, it was nice because, you know, Kyle Fletcher, he got the crap beat out of him in this matchup. The bumps, the selling, he came up bleeding. He was just getting the hell beaten out of him by Ishii as well as Kyle O'Reilly. So it just made sense that he was the one that was selling to distract the referee, and Josh Alexander gets another win. I think it is something to pay attention to, that Josh Alexander has gotten the win in back-to-back tag team matches for the Don Callis family. I wouldn't be surprised if they're trying to position him with a couple of more victories as the person to represent the Don Callis family against Hangman Adam Page for the AEW World Championship. Or what we saw in the later promo, the later interview, maybe they're teasing for a Josh Alexander, Kenny Omega matchup.
I have to tell you guys, this is a great time for me because as your resident TNA shill, I get to shill TNA in this moment. We're going to jump around because Don Callis was throughout this whole episode.
What do you feel about that? Because I know Don Callis is a polarizing individual in the world of AEW. What do you think about them kind of making this subtle yet deliberate transition of the Death Riders being the top faction to now it is clear that they're making Don Callis family the top faction in AEW?
You can't, I mean, I kayfabe hate Don Callis compliment, but come on now. He got your people on TV every week. Your man is dressed sharp like a pencil, annoying, but crucially on TV every week. Everybody who's a little directionless, he gives you something to do. He gives you more than something to do, and he revamps your character. I'm so sorry. I'm Don Callis and Paul Heyman, 2025 so far, the best managers. I'm so sorry. Fight your mom about that. And that's just me being personal opinion.
Okay.
World
I like
peace.
it. I like it. I like it.
Another Don Callis segment we had, since we were talking about Kenny Omega and Josh Alexander, which they did have a match in TNA, by the way, which was really, really good. You should go
Did they have a match?
it.
I thought they never did. I thought that was the whole thing. I thought they had
a match in TNA when they did their first takeover of TNA and AEW. Unless I'm thinking
I thought they never did because that was the whole thing that everybody thought that Josh should have been the one who dethroned Kenny for the TNA World Championship. Like they teased the matchup. They had a backstage segment where they had a stare down and it seemed like that was the direction that they were going. And it just never happened.
Then who am I thinking that Josh Alexander had like almost a 60-minute match with in TNA?
Speedball Mike Billie.
It was
Speedball
Ospreay.
Mike Billie.
It was Ospreay.
Ospreay had the match on the first TNA Impact after the rebrand. Yeah.
Damn, my brain said, "Now that happened," and that's what I believe. That's what I believed. That's what I believed. And my baby, come on, listen, do it. But still, Josh Alexander is so good. He's somebody, in my opinion, who I'm like, I need him in the G2. I see what you've done for Konosuke Takeshita. I could see.
Put him in the G1.
Is it G1 or G2?
G1.
What's G2? Is that a Jet 2 holiday?
I don't know. I was thinking like ride in my G6, in my G6, in my G6. Da 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 da.
My name is Cresta Star, and I don't watch professional wrestling. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, you're thinking C2.
C2, G2.
She's like, what are them letters?
What are them things?
You just put one little letters with the other number and just shut up.
I'm becoming wrestling auntie. You got AEW, WWE, ECW, TNA, G2, C2, R2, D2. It don't matter, Lakers and 5. I can't keep up with the numbers anymore. I can't keep up anymore. There's so many FTR, RTH, ROH. Like, come on, please.
That was a great promo on today's show, by the way, by those guys. So there you go.
I will say the last segment that ties into that, because Josh Alexander says he's going to kill Kenny Omega and end his career. And I'm like, I would like to see that. Also, Mark Briscoe meeting in an undisclosed parking lot with Lexi Nair and Don Callis talking about, can I please have a match with Cal Fletcher? I'm like, why are you asking him? And I won't lie, Don Callis makes a good point. I got this multi-man match next week. We're trying to get the world title back in our hands. And Kyle Fletcher already got opponents. We've already beat you. So maybe I'll let one of my guys beat you up. I thought it was Josh Alexander later on in the night. But I'm like, it depends on who it is. If it's Trent or Rocky, maybe. If it's Konosuke, get to the back of the line. To the back of the
I'm
line.
sorry to tell you, you're losing this one, Mark. But the promo I thought was the most interesting of it all, with interviewing Fletcher and Alexander and Callis backstage, because I like what Alexander said. Like Callis saying that, oh, tell the people what you're gonna do. This Wednesday you're gonna be basically doing what you came to this company and in the Don Callis family for. And he says that he's been training his whole career for a matchup with Kenny Omega, so he's looking forward to the match on Wednesday. So I thought that was really interesting because Josh Alexander, they've established him in the Don Callis family since he signed with AEW back in April, but I don't think they've done a great job of like making him a single star as someone who could be a threat to guys like a Kenny Omega. So I like that they're actually putting in the effort, especially this week, in regards to getting him wins, putting a spotlight on it, and then giving him promo time to kind of say, hey, I want my opportunity with Kenny Omega. And Kenny Omega is not, like he said it in interviews, he's not going to have a lot of kind of like singles matches and stuff like that, spotlight matches that much moving forward. So if Josh Alexander can get in there and get one, that would be huge, because that's probably one of the bigger like Canadian versus Canadian matches you can have in wrestling right now.
Honestly, again, my mind had already put like, oh, these guys already had a banger. I'm sure I'll just have to Google it. Like, so I know it's gonna be good, and
yeah,
I can't wait for that. That makes me excited, really. I love Don Callis. So again, I know why people don't like him, but I'm not one of those people.
I'm not one of those people either. I enjoy someone who can get heat. And I view the Don Callis family. People complain about the number of people in the group. I was like, it's a basketball team. I was like, just look at it like NBA basketball. He's got an all-star. They're the Golden State Warriors. If y'all remember the Golden State Warriors of like 2017, 2018, they got Okada is Kevin Durant. He's here for no reason. He doesn't really need to be on this team for them to win, but he's here anyway. So let's have the greatest team, greatest group ever. You got Konosuke Takeshita as Steph Curry. You got Kyle Fletcher as Klay Thompson. They got freaking Josh Alexander as Draymond Green. And now they got Kevon Looney. They needed a scorer down low who can rebound. They got Wardlow. They got Hechicero coming off the bench. He's Sean Livingston. So yeah, they good. They deep. They got Lance Archer. They got Rocky. They got Trent. Like I like the fact that they are like ridiculously numbered. It's like the exact opposite effect of what House of Torture have done in New Japan for me.
And I think you put out a good point. I don't get all the basketball references. So go team, do your touchdown, do your big one. But I will say that unlike other multi-man factions, everybody is doing something. Nobody's just here to be here. And I've seen a lot of factions, shout outs to the Elite, which sometimes like, why is this, I'm gonna mind my business so I don't get beat up, but like, why is he here? Say that I like Bullet Club. There are some people at Bullet Club like, yeah, why you, I'm gonna shut up so I don't get beat up, but why are you here? Not mad at that. Moving on, we do have Jamie Hayter and Thekla just killing each other backstage.
For no reason.
I'm into it. We also have another segment of the Matriarchy, and this I thought was a little interesting. Get it out, don't pay rent. We had Kip Sabian blaming Luchasaurus for their loss. Mind you, Kip Sabian got a black eye. He got like staples on his eyebrows, yelling at a dinosaur. What a crazy look.
This man is some other type of entitled. Like, what is wrong with him? Yelling at a dinosaur in public. Like, he looked crazy.
You see what he did to Christian? You better chill, pal. I don't know what we're doing with the Matriarchy here, especially now with Nick Wayne being injured. I don't know if Kip and Lucha are something they could put on their backs, especially with the beef that they were having with Christian. I don't know. And it's not like a positive, I don't know. It's more like a, you in danger, girl. I don't know what we do with you guys now.
I'm afraid to tell you, but I watched this
Tell me.
segment, and I fear because you're someone who watches Collision a lot, so you know you would understand this reference at least. This has all the makings of very, very long Collision storyline that doesn't progress for weeks and then eventually has a match and ends. Basically, i.e., the Learning Tree versus Gates of Agony.
All my life, I've had to fight. You know what? I'm not even gonna meme because I watch TNA.
Also true. Also true. They have plenty of those. Kazarian versus Eric Young.
Why is System a face now? Because we can. Next question. All right. I love wrestling. A thing I don't watch, by the way.
Don't watch it at all. Don't watch it at all. Mother Wayne did all right in the segment.
Mother Wayne could do no wrong.
Putting in the effort. Yeah.
I do like Mama Wayne's whole outfit. Everything she wears, whoever her stylist is, if it's her, adopt me, please. It's everything she wears is so good. We got Malware Hologram versus Jay Lethal. Jay Lethal gave him a lethal injection of malware, and Hologram is bugging. This match was, I'm gonna skip all the stuff because we all watched wrestling together. We did that. Jay Lethal kept Hologram down as much as he could, but Hologram does get the win. They kept putting over his winning streak. Excuse me, I apologize. And it's like, you know what? Okay. At the end of the match, because this is really where the meat is, Hologram's music just starts playing weird. I thought it was like a Young Bucks prank, but there was not a buck in sight. And then, like, it started doing command prompts on the computer. It started doing like MS-DOS stuff. And then it was like loading. And then it showed a messed up black-red hologram. I'm like, what? 2 holograms. Hologram Americano. No, not this. We did have a super chat from earlier from the other Mikey V. Wonder who El Clone is. Is that what's his name? But I'm going to take it.
I guess. Yeah, let's go with it.
Surely Morto's posting a picture of Arez and a bunch of PWG guys that are now in AEW isn't a hint or something.
Might be on to something. What
do you think of the match, and what do you think of that super chat?
Pretty decent matchup with Hologram and Jay Lethal. Jay Lethal always doesn't know how to have a bad match. He's one of those guys who can always have at least a decent matchup against anyone. It was good to see kind of Hologram in singles action since I've seen him so much lately with the Conglomeration, whether it be tag team action or multi-man action. As far as this storyline, can I tell you this might be my favorite thing from tonight's show? Because, oh my God.
In the thing?
Oh my God. It took over a year, but they finally found a storyline for Hologram. I've been waiting for this. People going to say, oh, he feuded with Beast Mortos. They just had matches. They attacked them post-match. It wasn't really a feud. It wasn't really a story. This is a story. He's getting hacked by someone. There's a clone. How did they get access? How was their access granted? How did they know the coding?
Access granted.
Like, what type of Wi-Fi do they have? Like, I want to know everything. I am tapped in on the Hologram clone storyline. It's basically an AEW version of the Green Ranger storyline. If you were a kid in the 1990s, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's the Green Ranger storyline. We just need to find out who is the Rita that invented this clone hologram. I am tapped in. Give me all of it. We need NordVPN. We need the code Fightful to get the VPN for what was used to hacked hologram.
I gotta tell you, that's way better than what I had going on in my brain. I'm like, this could be like the outrunner. Somebody just discovered the internet, and when the person finally drops, their music is That's great. Fantastic. Who hacked him? The mysteries we need to. Who hacked the mainframe? Was it Ali? He was a hacker once. Was it Retribution? They were hacking once. I'm sports confused.
Sammy Callahan?
Is it Sammy Solomon Grundy? Was that his name on
Solomon Grow? Solomon Grow? He retired. He so conveniently retires.
Yo, I'm about to ruin it. Chris Jericho comes back. That's his new gimmick. He's tapped in.
It is Jericho. It's gonna come up. It's just gonna be like who
it's the Y2J gimmick again. It's the Y2J.
Save us, Y2J. And Jericho takes off the mask and is like, break the walls down. he broke the firewall down.
We're working ourselves into a shoot, brother. Break the walls down.
The Judas in my mind.
No, the Judas in your malware.
The Judas in my malware. Is there something left for me?
Do I need to restart my drive? My drive.
I drive.
Yo, only at Fightful we have the most professional wrestling analysis here with Cresta SP3.
I become that. I become that.
Malware clone. Malware in my mind. Oh man. If this happens, it's our fault.
Oh, that's good. Power driver finisher. I'm upgrading.
I'm upgrading. Ooh. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. We're having a fantastic time. And if you're having a good time as well, please consider leaving a thumbs up on this video if you're watching it in the future or if you're watching it right now. We're going to move on because I'm hot now from laughing.
I can't believe how accurate this is. I feel like Michael Allen Lewis in the chat who's like, damn it, it is Jericho, isn't it? I'm like, yo, it makes too much sense for it to not be.
Right now, I will say all WWE old heads are reheating their old nachos. So it absolutely makes sense that this is Y2J with the
You're always gonna have the countdown. Like hologram shuts down in 4 days. It's gonna be on it's gonna be the countdown.
I can't,
you're gonna see him go down the portal again.
Oh man, he has to come out with break the walls down at that point.
You know I got you. Yeah. Oh, break the walls down.
I'm a hater, but at that point, I'm gonna have to shake his hands like, you got me, gal. You got me. This is my fault. I said it out loud. So, I'm here I'm gonna be sports entertained. This is my fault. Speaking of people not taking accountability and things being their fault, shout outs to Ricochet. This is the violence that I came to see. Ricochet and the Gates of Agony explain their actions. They're like, listen, okay, Hurt Syndicate, or should we call you the Dirt Syndicate? We did what we did because remember all those months ago when you made fun of me for being light-skinned and bald? You will never prosper. If I could quote The Color Purple for one moment, until you do right by me. That's what Ricochet said, that everything you touch, I'ma be there. Whenever you wrestle, I'll be there. That's Ricochet right now. And Gates of Agony. And I have to tell you, this is the funniest thing because we get a response kind of from the Hurt Syndicate saying, you think you're bringing a problem to us, but do you know what we do for fun? We hurt people. Do you know what we do for work? We hurt people. Do you know what we do at church? We hurt people. We hurt people. So you have now just invited yourself to the Hurt party just for you. And it's something about, man, I love Black people. I love Black people committing violence against each other. This is great. This is a
Black
joke.
on
Don't
black
be weird.
violence.
Don't be weird. This is a joke. Don't be weird. I swear But this is funny. I lived. What did you think about Ricochet saying you'll never have fun in this job again?
This was a really good kind of exchange of just trash talk. I can't even say it was like promos. It was just two dudes talking crap about one another, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Ricochet, where he's just so corny and lame, but he's so good at what he does. He's so good at it.
I hold a grudge and I'm petty. I'll hold a grudge forever. And I was like, same. You ate that.
He was like, and I can hold the grudge. I was like, ain't it right? Ain't it right? I love the MVP. I thought MVP had the best line of the two talking trash segments, where he said, "You got 500 pounds of beef behind you, and your nuts dropped. Magnificent."
Yo, that's a unk. I never want to get. You're just gonna read me out. I might have to be like, yo, you want to fight me, old man? Like, what would you say to me?
I was like, yo, that was the straight unk line right there. Like, he just like, man, he was like, I've been having to hear you talk shit this whole barbecue. Let me put down my dominoes. He just slammed down the dominoes. He's like, and then he's like, oh, you got your boys with you. You think your nuts drop? Magnificent. Come see me back, y'all.
That's the uncle that puts his hand on the back of your neck and says, "Come with me," and that's not a suggestion. That's not a suggestion. You've been talking a lot. I would love to see you talk out back, away from the children.
I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying this way more than it looked like I was gonna enjoy it, because I'm like trying to figure out why the Hurt Syndicate went from, being the tag team champions to kind of a feud that's not really about anything and against a group that isn't established, but they've made me enjoy it so far. So I'm here for the ride.
I am too. And I think this is something that AEW does do well, that not everything needs to have a thing like a championship attached to it.
Yeah.
It makes sense. You made fun of me when I was trying to get my feet wet. Now my feet are fully in the water. Now I'm coming for mine. I totally respect it. We had a squash match between Alex Windsor and Ashley Vox.
Who?
Alex Windsor.
Oh, okay. Now I understand you. I'm sorry. I couldn't understand when you said it before.
Oh, I mean, when they announced that she won, somebody said Alex Winder, so
Alex Windsor.
Honestly, I live. This was more about the post match. Alex Windsor absolutely gets the win with a tap. I put squish squash respectfully. Tony Schiavone asked Alex, Mercedes Moné said she'd put you in a hospital with your man. Tony Schiavone has been messy this whole night. The first time is when he asks about Daniel Garcia. This is the second time, and the third time is in the main event, where Nigel McGuinness had to tell him, "You're married," and Tony was like, "You're right."
He's like, "You know what? You got me there. You got me there. You got me there.
I am married. This match is great."
It's like, you know what? I shouldn't be saying that on air. You're absolutely right.
These are some fine athletes. He asked her, like, yo, so she said you'll put you in the hospital with your man. What you gonna do? Alex Windsor said, listen, there's a line you can cross and joke, but not joking with my boyfriend, my husband, the person that I love, my fiance, my boo thing, who I don't even know is gonna have a career. So put your money where your mouth is and fight Alex Windsor. Are you excited to see this? Do you think she's the one to take a title off of Mercedes? Or do we get Ultimo Dragon Mercedes before she starts dropping titles?
Yeah, I think she's gonna do her Ultimate Dragon thing. I think she's gonna win 2 more titles, get to 11, and then we'll start to see the demise of Mercedes Moné. I think that this was a smart move putting this on Dynamite next Wednesday, because I thought they would kind of build this out a little bit further, make it for All Out, but I like it more as a TV matchup, and then we can get maybe someone further up on the roster, Chris Statlander or Willow Nightingale in there to face Mercedes for the title at the pay-per-view. But I'm looking forward to this matchup coming up on Wednesday.
We have a couple of super chats here. We have one that from Jim that says, Big Jim is fine. It's easier. Listen, hey, ho, Big Jim out here stopping title runs, okay? I will not be calling you Big Jim, sir. That's a married man, okay?
He's a force to be reckoned with.
He did not proceed with caution. Congratulations to Naomi again. I will not be calling you Big Jim, sir.
He is strong at a lot of things, just not pulling out.
CD Delgado says Jericho hologram will never be the same again. I mean, honestly, break the
again.
We have another super chat from Michael Allen Lewis says, I can hold a grudge is the most light-skinned thing Ricochet has said in AEW so far. As a light skin who holds grudge, I agree. I would shake his hand. Let's hold grudges together. Sure. Who do you hate? Type in chat. Who do you still have a grudge against? Is it your third grade teacher?
I'll be honest. Us black folks in general, we do a great job of holding grudges.
You could die, and I'll still be pissed on the other side. What up? What up?
I know sisters in my family that hated each other for like 20 years. Like
I could let the grudge go, but we gotta shoot the fair one at least 4 times.
Yeah.
We gotta shoot the fair one at least 4 times, okay? And nobody wanna do that because you old and you an adult. Come on, so you gonna fight every time you got a problem? Yes.
Yes, let's go.
Yes. All right. Speaking of people who go fight whenever they got a problem, we have FTR versus Adam Priest and JD Drake of the Workhorsemen. Every time JD Drake is on TV, I sit up at attention, okay? Like QT Marshall in a celebrity match, I know you about to do your best. You about to do your big one. And I'm excited. And I don't want to hear no slander because I was giving that guy, Adam Hauser Windsor, a lot of crap. And QT Marshall said, all right, we're going to give you the Rock treatment. Let's go, pal. I heard that match was fantastic. This match was fantastic, too. Stiff people, I don't know how to describe it, but JD Drake somehow belongs in FTR. I don't know how to describe it. But he would be the R in the FTR. They can all do it together. I don't know how that works. He could be the F, he could be the T, he could be the R, but there's only 2 of them. So I'm here for it. These chops were nasty. Priest was getting worked in the beginning of it. Drake goes up on the top rope. Cash distracts the ref. Dax pushes JD Drake off the rope. JD Drake gets back up on the rope. This time he throws off Dax. And he fights off Cash to get the moonsault on Cash, but that's still only 2. FTR hits the Shatter Machine on JD Drake. He rolls out of the ring and is pronounced legally dead, in my opinion, because we don't see him for the rest of this match. Priest then gets beat up. The F the Revival chants are going on. And Nigel McGuinness dead says... I don't think that's what those chants stand for.
I don't think that's what FTR stands for. I was like, great job. Great job.
Elijah McGuinness, you're a treasure. Never change. I love and respect you. We do get the win.
Little does he know that was the original what FTR stood for originally.
I thought it meant fight the revival.
No, it was the Young Bucks, and on Being the Elite, Young Bucks and Cody Rhodes, they started doing a bit on the show that was like, fuck the revival. Cody Rhodes would always come into a room. They'd be talking about something else or something completely different, and he'd just come in and be like, fuck the revival. And then that's what they started making the t-shirts, FTR, until they got a cease and desist because I guess the revival at the time in WWE was like, now we actually like those letters, FTR, we actually want to use those for like merch and stuff. So they copyrighted it before the Elite could, so they had to cease and desist. So it became FTRR for a while and stuff like that. But yeah, when they came to AEW, they eventually became FTR. There's your lore for this post show here. The lore of FTR.
In this moment, now I understand why JDC used to come out and say, "Man, I hate pro wrestling." Then would come out, "I hate pro." Wow, what a lore! What a lore! What did you think of this match, by the way? Did you have a good time? Did you like the revival? Before we get into the post match.
I enjoyed this matchup way more than I thought I would going in. I thought easily you see this match on paper, you're like, this is a squash. But they didn't make it a squash. FTR has been on a roll the last couple of months. They've really hit like a stride, like where they were at in like 2023, where they were at in 2022, 2021, 2020, so on and so forth. They are one of the best tag teams, not only in the world, they're one of the best tag teams of all time. And the thing that they do better than any other tag team that I think I've ever seen is they do kind of what Ric Flair was really accredited for back in the 80s was he could be there in the ring with anyone, with a jobber, and he can have a good match with them. And that's what FTR is good for. And not to call Adam Priest, who's one of the best independent wrestlers in the world, the jobber, not to call JD Drake, who constantly over delivers when he's given an opportunity like this. I did find it strange that he wasn't out there with his usual tag team partner. I was like, I don't know about all that. I remember the last time we had some issues there. So hopefully everything is smooth. We can get the real Workhorsemen back in there. But Adam Priest made a good replacement, and they had a really good matchup here. FTR picking up the win. But the post-match with the promo, that promo was fantastic by FTR. They got so much heat. I could have closed my eyes and thought that was the Dudley Boys in the late 90s in the ECW arena. That's how much heat they were getting.
I'm not going to disagree with you there. We do get a win with the Border City stretch from Dax on Priest, and Priest taps out, which very rare, because I saw the Saturn Machine on JD. I was like, we're going to hit another one, and that was not the case. Last night when I was talking to Kay about SmackDown, one of the things I had complained about is that not every time you need to yell. I call it the Dane Cook. When you want to tell something and you got to yell to get heat because you think that equals commanding, but this wasn't the case. Cash was crashing out, bro. He was like, this was supposed to be a great thing, and you ruined it. And they're booing this. Like you said, this was some Dudley Boys heat. This was Hogan's the third man. I'm throwing stuff in the ring. Like, oh, these guys suck. I love FTR. I'm so sorry. They're jerks, and they're playing. I never believed them as faces. You are believable as a face, like Randy Orton, Charlotte Flair. No thanks.
They've been absolutely stellar since turning heel. Like this is them great. in their greatest form, and them in the ECW arena has been great the last two shows. Like the show on Wednesday, when Cash is going down to the ring, and the homie who just clocked in at FedEx came to the show, and he's like, "You a bitch." You a bitch. Like, yo, I was like, yo, he about to squabble up on this dude. Like, and then they started beefing and yelling at the fans in the front row. They were yelling at little kids, yelling at little women. Dax acting like he's gonna hit one of the older ladies. Like, I was like, yo, this is great. This is
honestly
great. This is a real heel tag team.
True heel heat, FTR. That's how you get him, pal. That's how you get him. I gotta say though, Dax was crashing out, not Dax. Cash was crashing out so hard that he threw the mic, forgot to hand it to Dax, and the crowd probably reminded him, "You fucked up." To which he got on one knee and was like, "My love, my baby," which I respect. Sometimes, hey, no respect, but a little respect. This was. I'm not mad at this. Sorry, before I go into my diatribe, Dax Harwood said the best line, in my opinion, of the night. He said this was supposed to be a dream match. Now this is a charity case. I'm like, damn, leave the unks alone. Don't say that about my Canadian unks. That's not nice. That's not nice, eh? Leave the Canadians alone, right?
Don't do that to them, eh? I mean, I like the promo that Dax cut. I thought this was one of his best promos in a while, talking about how these two guys made their name off of 3 letters that, you know, set their career up for the rest of their lives. It was TLC, and now you're looking at 2 guys that came together, that built their legacy, built their careers on 3 letters, and that's FTR. I like that symmetry of everything. They kind of put the story together for All Out, and we still have 3 weeks left to go. So I could see them adding a stipulation to this matchup and make it even bigger. But right now, this feels like the most high-profile matchup for All Out, and I could easily see it main event in the show.
The only thing, in my opinion, that is missing, if we're keeping Christian, I'm a heel, but I'm a face. Like, are you a face? I'm a good guy.
No, he is the anti-hero. He is the asshole. He's the asshole that we adopted to take down the other assholes.
I mean, honestly, even that promo in the ring where Christian was just like, I heard you have fathers, and Cope was looking at him like, brother.
He's like, chill. And then the fans are like, no, we want this. We want him to talk about their fathers now. I was like, that's great. That's awesome. I think I felt like the reunion of Cope and Christian was very rushed. Very rushed. It felt like I missed a couple of chapters. But all the steps they've taken since then, with the promo on Dynamite 2 weeks ago, when Christian was like, no, I'm still an asshole. I'm perfect just the way I am, and stuff like that. I thought that was a nice follow-up. I thought the matchup where he still didn't want to fight Kill Switch during the match, I thought that kind of step was the step in the right direction. And then this past Wednesday with his promo where he's still talking about dead fathers, these are all good steps. Christian not really changing and becoming white meat babyface Christian, which was like the worst form of him, especially in AEW. This Christian is the best form of Christian anywhere. WWE, TNA, doesn't matter. This is the best form of Christian. He is absolutely right. He's perfect just the way he is.
Christian Cage proving that you could be a terrible person as long as you use it on someone we don't like. We don't care. We don't care. We don't care, Jones over here. We don't care. Get him. Talk about that man's dad. Anybody else, that's not nice. Or that guy, I don't see a problem. Speaking of people who don't see a problem, I don't see a problem with this Big Bill and Juice Robinson match. This David and Goliath thing, not mad at it. I want to quote the Nigel line from the match, was the line of the night. Big Bill kicked Juice Robinson in the back of his head. His face was just in the way. Because what you mean he did? He kicked through Juice Robinson, and I hate that for Juice Robinson. However, all right, there's a side swing from Big Bill. Big Bill wins this. Because this match is just literally Juice Robinson doing everything he can, just getting beat up. Yeah. It makes sense that you would put Big Bill over here. Not for nothing, the Bang Bang Gang is banged up right now. So what are we going to do? Put them through something? You know what I mean? So I hope this leads to something more significant for Big Bill and Brian Keith. With Chris Jericho coming back as Hologram. I'm kidding. But I need them to do something. You guys said that Chris Jericho went to go find his smile, and he won't find it until you guys start winning. It has to either end up with them turning on Jericho, beating up Jericho, or Jericho just doesn't come back. And if he does, we don't need you, pal. You know, yeah. I worry what we do here with both teams. Gun Club, I can understand. Everyone's beat up. But with these guys, you've been having them win, putting them on TV now. It can't just be this kind of grudge match. Maybe we need a C2 for the both of them that I know is in this show. Not the G1, the C2.
I thought I didn't like get into this matchup as much as I hoped I would. I thought it was fine for what it was, but I wasn't kind of like invested in it the way I thought I would. I just doesn't seem like there's a lot of creativity being made into being put into this rivalry right now. It's kind of like just kind of a bare bones type of story they're telling with the Bang Bang Gang and the Learning Tree. They feel like two groups that they really don't have a concrete story or something of matter or something that is even important to what AEW is doing right now. They kind of feel like they're on the outliers of all of that. So the match was all right. Big Bill played the monster heel very well in the matchup. I like Juice working from underneath. I do like that they kind of protected him with the finish with Brian Keefe causing the distraction before Big Bill hit the black hole slam. So I'm at least willing to give this a try again and see what happens moving forward. But I agree with you that it did feel like the right time for Big Bill to get the win here because it doesn't feel like they're done with this story yet.
Yeah, there has to be something. I feel like that's been the theme of wrestling as of late. So, something's missing. I don't know if it's a little extra salt, cinnamon, sugar, but something's missing. You know what I mean? Yeah. Guys, you know what we're missing? Your super chats and humper chats. We are heading down the home stretch. We have 1, 2, 3 more things to talk about. So make sure we can talk about it with you. All righty. We have a promo from the Skyflight crew where they called it the Altitude Era because they got 2 wins. And I'm not mad.
Yeah, that sentence was hilarious. It's the Altitude Era because they got 2 wins. Like, congratulations.
We fly, no lie.
No lie. You know this.
2 wins. Listen, I'm not mad because sometimes in AEW, wins is hard to come by. So we take those. I do agree with Darius Martin saying, yo, bro, get serious. We got these wins, but Shane Taylor Promotion got the titles. So what are we doing? I agree with what he said. I don't want this to be like a thing that they break up. We just got them together. But everyone's taking a little jokey joke. There's nothing to jokey joke when you're against Shane Taylor Promotions. Those guys respectfully are some goons. Goons. They will beat you up and fleece you and take your shoes. Shoe a follow over here too, bro. We got to get serious. And then you're mad at Layla Gray, want to take $1 for the swear jar. Maybe start swearing on them titles instead of worrying about what I got going on over here with my muck mouth. You know what I mean? Dante's not wrong. I mean, Darius isn't wrong. He's not wrong. I do think that if we're going to talk about wins and altitude, you have to fly high. And if we talk about people flying high, that right now is the Don Callis family only. So let's take that and, you know, humble ourselves just a touch and turn that winning into something. What did you think of this segment?
Yeah, I do find it funny that the 2 groups that they have feuded with since they formed their faction are winning much more than they are. The Don Callis family have pretty much all the gold in AEW and trying to get more with the unified title and the TNT championship and anything else that anybody else he decides to sign, since he signed half the roster. Then you got Shane Taylor Promotions, our boys, because we're part of the set. We're part of the STP set. We're part of the infantry set. And they won the Ring of Honor 6-man tag team championships and ended the albatross around Ring of Honor that was those damn Sons of Texas, and did it with the support of Philadelphia behind them. I was so proud of the 2300 Arena last night, who booed Sammy and the Von Erichs and Dustin Rhodes, even though he wasn't there, but spiritually they booed him as well, booed him out the building as well. They gave me PTSD in regards to Texas, Cresta. I can't watch anything Texas.
Damn, me either.
Can't watch anything. Oh my God. It's like, what's going on? But no. I'm happy for Shane Taylor Promotions, happy for the infantry, Captain Sean Dean and Carly Bravo. They've worked so hard from like just working kind of AEW Dark to Ring of Honor to the AEW Collision off and on, and then back to Ring of Honor winning some gold finally. I'm so happy for them. They deserve that. But yeah, Skyflight, y'all gotta work on it, man. Y'all not looking good in comparison to everybody else that you've been facing over the last couple of weeks. You're looking like the weak link.
There's no easy way to transition into a sewer slide segment. So if you are sensitive, trigger warning, and all that fun stuff. Because listen, hey, I make jokes about it, but I too have been affected by the Alt F4, okay? But this was a very unserious segment. I'm so sorry. The Gabe kid says to Darby Allin, "Oh, you think you crazy? I'm crazy too. My mom kicked me out when I was a young lad.
My mom kicked me out. She put me in the mental vicinity. I was like,
yo, you coming out? You coming in hot, pal?"
I was like, we had therapy. Oh shit. Oh,
and I can get behind that until he took his jacket and tried to hang it. Like, yo, whoa!
He was like, I was in the hospital and I was about to hand myself. I was like, oh,
maybe it's the cynic in me. But I'm like, damn, is that what we all said? Stop, Cresta, you can't make those jokes. That was a joke, by the way. That was a joke. Hey, joke. I literally wrote, Gabe Kid wants to enter emo death Kai with Darby Allin.
Yeah, he said he wants to fight him next week. Anything goes, no rules, no referee. This was great. This is a great promo. Okay, I'll give him credit. He got me into what he was saying. He got across his goals for the promo, which was to promote a possible fight with Darby Allin. This is gonna giving Darby Allin one extra obstacle before he gets Jon Moxley at All Out. So I probably, maybe I'm assuming too much, but I would assume this would be a match or fight for Wednesday on Dynamite, because I expect by either this Wednesday or at least next Saturday they should be making the Darby versus Moxley match official for All Out.
Not sanctioned, no rules, no ref. No, thank you. I'm not watching that. I'm so sorry. I'm not watching that. I'm not.
She was like, I care about you, Darby, way too much to watch you get murdered. I'm sorry.
I've seen enough Gabe Kid, and I've seen far too much Darby Allin die in that ring. I'll watch TNA on Thursday, and I've had enough. No, thank you. I am sports disgusted. I'm pre-disgusted. Like, you're pre-approved. I'm pre-disgusted. This match is gonna be nasty, and I can see them saying like AEW don't want to be held liable while these guys bloodlet for the blood gods, and I don't. I'm not watching that. I'm not watching that. I'm sorry. I'm not watching that.
She's like,
spaghetti. And that's immediately followed by a Darby Allin, what I thought was going to be like a high school, Gabe Kid, but no, he's doing something for charity.
Yeah. I was so confused. I saw Darby, I saw the skate things, and I was like, oh, okay, we're going to get the Darby Allin response. That was a quick response. Man, he just saw it, and he already had something ready for him. That's what's up. And then he's talking about, I'll climb Mount Everest for Tony Hawk, and now I'm gonna build a skate park in my hometown of Georgia. So, if I donate to the Darby Allin Foundation Fund. It sounded like one of those skits from an episode of South Park, but it actually
sounded
real.
Like it was in the Tony Hawk game itself. Like, do you want to come down to 32B Street and skate and shred with the bros?
You gonna skate with the bros, man? This is what you gotta do.
Okay, not too much on Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Not too much.
Nah, that's my jam, yo. Tony Hawk Underground is my jam, actually. Tony Hawk Underground. That was my favorite game growing up. One of my favorite games.
Yo, that was just a crazy set of segments to I tried to end my life to charity for kids. We gotta talk about y'all pacing, pals.
Y'all you can't just rely on the commercial in between to be a buffer. You gotta put something in between that.
I don't even think there was a commercial between that. I think it was literally
it was.
that.
No. It was a commercial. It came back from commercial, and I'm seeing that. I'm just like, Darby Allin Foundation. I was like, oh, okay.
Listen, Trick love the kids, and so do I. But that was just a really hard turn.
Jarring. Kind of jarring, yes.
Yikes. Hey, yo. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about women's wrongs. Where Nigel had to remind Toni that you can admire the athletes, but you're married, pal.
Stop perving, dog.
Toni Schiavone, you invited to the cookout. I can't explain why. If people ask me, I just say, he just can't. He can. Okay, he can.
What you
This
gonna do
match-
about it? What you gonna do about it?
Very that. You gonna tell Tony Schiavone he can't come? Because I'm not.
That's
So
on you.
anyway, we have our main event, which is a trios women's Toni Storm, Mina Shirikawa, and Queen Aminata. Who, Mina, you got beat up last night, and to show up to work again today, you ate that.
Bravo.
You ate that. Versus Billie Starkz and the Triangle of Madness consisting of Julia Hart and Skye Blue. I want to shout out all the capes in this match. The capes on Toni Storm, Mina, Queen Aminata, and Julia Hart. I know they said no capes, but not here. This was everything.
Keep it
The
out.
crowd, fake. Philadelphia, you're so fake. Because you were chanting, we want Billie. We want Billie. She gets in. Y'all start booing her.
I was like, yo, y'all treating her like Willie Yuta. That's foul.
Y'all treat her like Charlotte Flair. We want Charlotte get it. Boo. Yeah, yo.
And Billie said, she was like, I gave you what you wanted.
This is malarkey, number one. And number two, really, really rude. Aminata was getting beat up this match, and I hated that for her. They were taking liberties with this young lady. After she got off her chocolate kisses, they said, that's it. They were being real stiff. Julia Hart start bleeding out of nowhere. Also, shout out to Skye Blue going ham.
I think it was on. It wasn't. I don't know who it was, but it was one of the moves. I think it was Aminata. She did a move, and then immediately I was like, "Oh, something ain't right with Julia." I was like, "Julia." No, it was Mina. Mina was on her comeback when she gets tagged in after the hot tag, and she's on her comeback, and she does a move to Julia, and immediately I was like, "Oh, something's not right." Julia's like holding her head. She's like, she's rolling over on her stomach, and then she rolled over to the outside, and I was like, oh, I see her face is a little redder than before. I was like, oh, she's bleeding from the nose. She got a busted nose. So yeah, I think it was Mina.
Nobody meaner than Mina.
These women, all these women just beat the hell out of each other in this matchup pretty much.
No, truly, there was, bro, Mina Shirikawa did this backstabber that was an inverted figure four. Oh, I don't even know how to describe it. It was so inventive. I was sports entertained, and I will always champion how far Julia Hart and Skye Blue have come. From seeing them on Dark, from where the gimmick, from whence they came, and even commentary definitely tonight was putting over how Skye Blue has changed so much, more confident ever since she got the mist in the eye. Sometimes you got to get poisoned.
Yeah. Sometimes poison does the trick. It gets you right focus, what you need to focus on.
Now, I was surprised that the good guys, Toni Storm, Mina Shirikawa, and Queen Aminata won. I thought Queen Aminata was going to take the pin here. Respectfully, nothing against her. I think she's fantastic. But I just thought the story they were telling was going to be that. I still got it. Mina gets the win. She pins Billie Starkz. She gets the glamorous bomb on Billie. And then the Triangle of Madness attacks everybody. Thekla comes out, and they literally murder all of the women. SP3, I got to ask you, how do you feel about this? And who stops the Triangle of at first I was making the joke, the Death Triangle, but this has been far better than the Death Triangle. So who stops actual Death Triangle?
Shout out to Michael Allen Lewis. He said it was Toni Storm with a suplex, and the back of her head hit Julia in the face. That's how she came up bleeding. But yeah, I enjoyed this matchup a lot. It was a lot of fun. I thought that Julia Hart and Skye Blue looked particularly really good in this matchup. Like, I think that they kind of had their confidence behind them. They had a hot crowd, and they did well. I thought it got a little bit clunky towards the end of the matchup. It got a little bit of a mess at times, but overall a fun time. Everybody had a good effort from everybody involved. The crowd was into things. I thought, yeah, I agree with you. The most notable thing was the post match with Triangle of Madness standing tall. And I think I kind of called that this would probably be the direction, because it doesn't feel like we're at the end of this Timeless Toni Storm title run. And I feel like when we're at the end, that's when we're probably going to get finally Chris Statlander or Willow Nightingale to get their opportunity at Timeless Toni Storm, especially the Storm and Statlander matchup. They've really never gone one-on-one in AEW, which, like, I think it's just once, and that was back like 3 Toni Storm characters ago. So that's a match that they very much protected during the Timeless era that they can go to. But I think she's going to need something for All Out and the months in between. And Triangle of Madness, they're a new group. They feel fresh. You got someone new in Tekla, who the company seems behind. You got Julia Hart and Sky Blue, who are homegrown talents that have grown a lot over the last couple of years. That's kind of them as a unit is more of a threat to Timeless Toni Storm's title reign than any other individual. They still need to heat up and build momentum for Willow or Statlander before they get an opportunity. Triangle of Madness has the wins, not that many, but they have the wins, especially Tekla, who hasn't really lost since she debuted. So it makes sense for them to be in line. And maybe we can get some interaction between Timeless Toni Storm and Jamie Hayter, who seem to have went in the same time travel vehicle, but got off at different eras, basically.
You're messy. You're as messy as Tony Schiavone. Tony Schiavone.
Schiavone. Yeah, and Tony Schiavone, stop being horny. You're married. Stop being horny.
Well, that's my gimmick, Kyle. Well, I'm Corporate Cresta. It's not my gimmick right now. And I stole that gimmick from Seahawk. Shout outs to Seahawk.
The man, my man Seahawk. That's their guy.
I will say, over Statlander and over Willow, and this is no respect to them, I kind of want to see the Megan Bayne payoff. I think Megan Bayne should be heated up again.
I wouldn't mind Megan Bayne being the one to dethrone Timeless Toni Storm either, because I know there was a lot of people that thought it was a mistake that she got the title shot that early and then also lost that title shot. So
yeah, I think that was a huge mistake, because this is somebody who absolutely could have came in. Sorry, and the way she's been beating people up, absolutely come in, wreck shit, leave. Literally Brock Lesnar. I mean, well, Voldemort, or who he shall not be named, whatever.
It's like one of those.
But I mean, that could be your Beast Mortos. There we go. That could be your female Beast Mortos. And I think having it be that early was a mistake. So I think there is a way for her to be heated back up again. Give her the Jade Cargill treatment, but she don't need to be Jade Cargill. She could beat up the girls. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think they're trying to avoid anybody being like Jade Cargill, because they invested a lot in Jade. The long title reign, they created a second women's singles title for her, and then all for her to kind of build her name, build a reputation, and then go to WWE. So I think that's the reason why they had Megan Bayne lose so early into a run in AEW. They're like, can you respond and can you rebound off of the first loss? Let's see if we do things a little bit differently than what we did with Jade.
I'm going to swerve off the topic here and go into that Jade Cargill, because this is just my opinion, my 2 cents. I don't blame Jade Cargill. I blame y'all creative, because you put her in a position that made it have to be where she's wrestling like a beast, and she couldn't, wouldn't, or can't. You know what I mean? So you set her up to be a monster. You gave her a bunch of jobber matches, and then was like, well, what are you going to do about it? What?
I think AEW did not do the best job with Jade Cargill, but they did do a better job, in my opinion, than what WWE has done in presenting her as a star, presenting her as someone who is a world beater, who, like you said, is that beast that can destroy anyone she's in the ring with. I think that's a much better way to book someone like Jade Cargill, who is limited in what she could do in the ring, but looks amazing with whatever she does in the ring, is to make her look like that amazing beast, make her look good, and get her the hell up out of there. Not what WWE has done, especially in the last 4 or 5 months, of her having matches. Her having matches where she loses for 75%, hits 3 moves and wins. That is like the definition of a Jade Cargill matchup in 2025. I
feel the presentation for her in the Fed is so much better. I
I
gotta say,
think
I feel like her
they
presentation is
they
better.
do present her like a superstar, but if you watch the match, then the bell rings. Then the bell rings and she loses and has bad matches. She loses for much of the matches, hits 3 moves and wins, but then they're never that good of a match. So,
and that's gonna be AEW Collision because wow, that's ladies and gentlemen, I've had the most fun here with the beautiful, illustrious SP3. I'm gonna let SP3 tell you where he can find you all over the social media.
thank you so much, Cresta, for having me. I appreciate being on the Collision review with you, talking graps with you about anything. It don't matter. I'll be on there. If Cresta asks, I'm here with y'all, and I'm honored to be filling in the shoes that I probably can't fit because they are big ones that I have to fill. Coming in on Saturdays and reviewing Collision with Iridian and Rick in the weeks to come while you take your break, your hiatus, your sabbatical, whatever you want to call it. Appreciate you passing the torch to me. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. You can see my written work at si.com. Yes, I am the Sports Illustrated from every Becky Lynch promo. Do not let Sean Ross Sapp tell you otherwise. Happy birthday to Sean. And you can also see my written work over at WrestleTalk.com. I'm on Fightful's other channel, Fightful Overbooked, every Tuesday and Thursday with Jeremy Lambert with In the Weeds at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, talking everything in the world of pro wrestling. And you can see a lot of my video work, my YouTube work, my YouTubing content creation over at True Heel Heat Wrestling YouTube channel. True Heel Heat, that's TRU, no E. That is where you can see most of my content. The True Hill Heat flagship podcast is up there right now, and I'm live there 3 to 7 times a week. So go and check it out.
And my name is Cresta Star. I'll be here with you guys for just one more week, and then I'll be off for the next 6 weeks because I need to go into a cave and turn into a chupacabra. If you would like to keep up with me in my transformorphosis as I become a mind flayer, you can follow me on all forms of social media. Cresta Star, CRESTA STARR, except for Twitter and X, where it's Cresta the Star, like Megan the Stallion. And while you're following and subscribing stuff, go ahead and give us a thumbs up on this video. Follow us on Fightful.com, Fightful on YouTube, Fightful Select, the Patreon. It's the best $5.99, and you're going to get it aggregated. Come to the sauce. For myself and SP3, thank you guys so much for being here. I'll see you next weekend. See you in your dreams. Be nice to people. Pro wrestling, watch it, because I don't. Bye.